Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and a very warm welcome to World This Morning. I am your host Hajra Satti and alongside me is my wonderful co-host Fahim Bangesh. Assalamu alaikum Fahim and pakhair ragle.
Assalamu alaikum and pakhair ragle. Thank you very much and a very good morning to all.
Wonderful. So Fahim, yesterday I went to Oxford University Press and I really wanted to relay this information to all the viewers who are especially residing in Pakistan is that there's a 35% discount on all the general books and 25% off on the syllabus books. And Fahim, I was so glad when I looked at all the books that were lying on the bookshelf is that there's a very interesting scholarship emerging on Pakistani society by Pakistani authors. Especially I felt that especially in the first half of the 21st century, it was extremely skewed by the terrorism and the securitization lens, right? And I do felt that it was our own mistake in that sense that we failed to project an alternative narrative, a counter narrative to the extreme securitization and extreme terrorism lens that our society was going through. I mean, Pakistani authors who were writing the novels on Pakistani society presented an extremely polarized, a fragmented picture of our society, and which is not like that. I mean, we have much more than that. So there's some interesting research.
We do have more potential, you're quite right. And I would like to know what sort of books do you read, Hajra?
So I have developed an interest especially in the cinema and the film production and how Hollywood is being challenged by a lot of emerging markets like the Korean market, the K-pop, like the Turkish disease and the dramas, and how their narrative is projected, which counters very, what do you call it, a very lonely sort of projection that is going on in the Hollywood, where the protagonist is running after the money. He has built up a very high skyrise corporation and then he's living alone and he doesn't touches the human values that makes us human. For example,
that's
the community living.
Right, and definitely that's something to ponder upon and to read upon, and definitely I would like to have an intellectual discourse on that with you someday.
Definitely.
When you are all equipped with all the knowledge that you're reading on these days now.
Wonderful.
Now moving forward, well, today, of course, like always, we have our news segments and first of all, we do know that China and Pakistan, they have expanded their cooperation under the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Quite an important project, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, Hajra, as we know, because it's a game changer, as people have been calling it. And we do know that work was a bit stalled in the past, and now we do know that they've expanded their cooperation and made notable progress in multiple sectors, including green, health, and information technology.
That's very true, and the matter of the fact is that they're focusing on the green recovery and also focusing on the health information technology other than the CPEC projects, which is very commendable because for the matter of the fact is the way China is stepping into the green domain, the green recovery, green health, green architecture, it is a need of the hour, right?
It's true. It is definitely the need of the hour because the planet needs to be saved. And China, being one of the upcoming superpowers, does have a huge responsibility in this regard, and I think it's fulfilling that responsibility.
That's very true, and I do believe that Pakistan, especially the recent devastating floods, it has been made more than clear that Pakistan needs that sort of a green potential, green recovery. And China also donated the solar equipment to Balochistan's province, and a green project in Gwadar port has also made some progress. And I was reading a very interesting news for him. So in Gwadar, people are actually sowing the crops which are climate resilient and climate resistant. And I do feel that we need this because the floods that happened in the recent past, they came from the south and then moved towards the north, which is a very abnormal behavior. So moving on to some very good news for him. So our Finance Minister Ishaq Dar has emphasized on maintaining the strategic reserves of sugar and the maintenance of prices for providing maximum relief to the masses.
And that's definitely a breather for the people of Pakistan. As we know, the prices are rising of all the usual daily use commodities. And also Ishaq Dar, Finance Minister, Hajra, he also held a meeting with a delegation of the Pakistan Sugar Mills Association. It was, as we know, headed by the chairman Asim Ghani Usman at the finance division. I'm sure the people of Pakistan must be really happy to hear that, because in Pakistan, sugar is used as an essential commodity. Maybe not in the other parts of the world, but in Pakistan, at least, sugar is used as an essential commodity. And especially as we know, so many people are living below the poverty line.
True.
And that's a huge source of energy for them.
True.
Because it's difficult for them to afford other organic fruits and vegetables. So sugar it is for them, and I think that's a huge breather.
Right, and also any sort of economic relief is always a welcome in every time, but especially in the time of the rising global inflation, it's a huge relief. So
Definitely.
moving on to our sports segment, where Fahim, we know that the FIFA World Cup is going on, and Pakistani football has made us proud, because the football
Definitely.
that are used in the Qatar World Cup is made by Pakistan.
Definitely, we know Sialkot is famous for its sports products, and Pakistan has made a huge contribution, if not as a team. It's made a huge contribution in terms of sending in the football, sending in the sports equipment, and supplying soccer balls, which are to be used in the forthcoming mega event, which this time will be held in the winter instead of summer, due to the hot weather in the Qatari capital of Qatar. As we know, as we told you yesterday as well, the most expensive World Cup, FIFA World Cup ever. And definitely that's a huge pride for Pakistan. Pakistan has made its name, and if not a person, Pakistan as a country.
Wonderful. I think that the football name is Al Rehala, and is it Al Rehala? Yes, it's Al Rehala. And Pakistani, I think, Sialkot industry is very famous for producing sports equipments, and football definitely is one of them. So Fahim, we have talked about how, especially in the 21st century, digitalization is one of the very prominent feature of that. And after the 2 decades of this 21st century, we feel that digitalization has crept in almost every field, right?
Every field it is, you're right. And I think in today's era, today's time, you cannot be productive enough. You can't be smart enough if you are not delving into the digital field. And now, introducing our first guest in the studio, well, I think I'll have to have a huge paper if I want to introduce in detail and in depth our first guest. She is Dr. Saira. Dr. Saira, welcome to PTV World. Welcome to World this morning. I would like to tell all the viewers that Dr. Saira is the CEO MedIQ and its founder as well. She is a trained health economist, and also she's a social entrepreneur. She has 2 decades of work experience. Also, she has served as the founding CEO of Punjab Health Initiative Management Company, which is a pro-poor micro health insurance program, which is Sehat Sahulat program as we know it commonly. Ma'am, welcome to PTV World.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's definitely a pleasure for us as well that you've taken out time and to be with us, definitely. Now, Dr. Saira, first of all, I would like to ask you about your journey. You're a doctor, you completed your MBBS, then you did your MS, then people usually stop over there, right? But then you thought perhaps I should go out of the box and do something extraordinary, do something that would perhaps make me something that's not ordinary, right? And you thought about these things, you took initiatives. You've represented Pakistan globally as well. You've been there in the medical field. How did you come up with this idea? Could we hear your journey?
I think my journey starts the way the usual journey of a Pakistani girl starts. You do your O-levels, A-levels, and the parents want you to be a doctor. Yeah? That's the best thing to do at that time. If you get good grades, the next destination is medical school. So that had to happen with me as well. But during my medical school, I realized that it's not about individual health which matters. It's about the health of the population. It's not exactly. So it's not about people going to the hospital, what can we do to keep the people away from the hospital, to make sure that they don't get sick on the very first place. And the bucks which are being spent on treatment in the hospital, if you can use them to keep them away from the hospital, keep the hospitals, instead of overburdening, keep them away, keep the patient at home, and make sure that they get treatment within their vicinity. So thinking from that perspective, which is usually not the perspective of a normal doctor, they earn when they see patients, they earn when people are sick. So I always wanted to know more.
And they pray that people get sick.
Unfortunately, that's how it is. That's how the tradition. That's how this whole profession works. So that's the reason I went to London School of Hygiene to learn more about public health and ways and means to keep people away from the hospitals. Came back and I started with bigger programs who were working on large public health interventions. Like how can you have maternal health in a better way so that when mothers only go to the hospitals if they have any complication in pregnancy, how to avoid stunting of children, how to have education about reproductive health, and so many other diseases and stuff, so that we can keep the people away from the hospital. But an important question which was always in my head after my master's was the financing module of public health. Hey, what is the amount of the money which we are spending on health? It's a very small amount. Less than 1% of the GDP goes to health. And that too is like 70% out of pocket. So how can we use whatever amount, a small amount of money which is being available or made available for health, how can we use it in an efficient manner to serve a larger population? And still again, my wish of making the healthcare patient-centered, where the healthcare comes to the patient instead of patient going to the hospital. Why can't we do it when we can bring food at home? We can get your groceries delivered at home, even your apparel, everything is coming to your home and you're receiving it. Why can't you have healthcare on demand whenever you need it, wherever you need it, on click of a button? So that's what changed my mind.
Did you see this model somewhere being used abroad, or was it completely your brainchild?
Well, I saw bits and pieces of it happening in different parts of the world because there the healthcare is not as fragmented as the healthcare in Pakistan.
True.
So they already have referral systems in place where people are stopped from going to a tertiary care hospital directly. They're stopped at a primary care. So the referral system is there. They have issues with refilling of the medication. They have issues with the lab test, but not like the whole spectrum of healthcare is not broken there. So what I did was I picked up bits and pieces from different parts of the world and tried to connect them under one digital platform.
Lovely.
That's how my company, MedIQ, came into being.
Wonderful. So yesterday we were also talking about, Fahim, about the concept of the One Health, in which the health of the humans, health of the animals and the environment is just all intertwined. So if any of the health is not feeling well, we can also feel the effects of that. If our rivers are not right, we can feel the effects because we are also not feeling right?
True.
We may not be able to, comprehend that or, say that verbally, but we can feel that, right? So Dr. Saiba, MedIQ is the first virtual hospital in Pakistan, and you're also a public health specialist. So how does One Health and all of this concept intertwine?
I think you have already mentioned very well that One Health means the health of everyone around us, how it's interconnected.
Right.
So it goes, hand in hand with everything. If you have your environment which is clean, we talked about green energy.
Right.
If you have your environment which is organic,
True.
this means that 50% of your diseases will not happen on the very first place. And if they happen, they can be treated within your vicinity.
Right.
In the comfort of your home. And if anything is left, then you go to a hospital.
Right.
So I think everything, starting from green energy, agriculture, human health, animal health, health of the environment around you, it all gets connected in a very well and coherent manner. So one element gets destroyed, the other element is automatically disturbed.
True.
Right.
But I again then focus on one thing which mostly people don't talk about, is that how to efficiently use the resources which we have. And when it comes to these programs, yes, resources are multiple sort of resources. But financial resources play an important role in a country like us, where we are already have a scarcity of money and other resources. So how can we use the money which we have to make sure that we get the best outcome by using that little pot of money which we have?
True. Also, Dr. Saira, you happen to be a trained health economist. Health economy or health economist, this is a term that's not very common. We don't get to hear this term very commonly in our daily lives. Could we get a little highlight on what a health economist is?
Well, again, as I said, it's about whatever is available with you, how to use it efficiently. So this what I was working for one of the micro health insurance programs. And I was doing the budgeting for writing the PC1. I worked with the government for some time and writing the PC1. And the way it was designed, it just, somehow it felt nauseated. I'm sorry to say this word, but I mean, we have certain structures and we have to put in money according to those structures. You can't move a penny from this, financial head to the others. While I wanted to focus more on keeping the people away from the hospital, but they were insistent that I put the money on the side where a brick and mortar structure is created.
Right.
So the money which is to be used, which is already scarce, economics is about using scarce resources and to create maximum impact.
Right.
And in health, the resources are the most scarce ones. So from there, I said, no, I have to study the numbers now. As I said, I became a doctor because I was supposed to being a Pakistani girl and having good grades. I was supposed to be a doctor. But the number part, I realized, I'm more interested in the numbers. So I went to University of Yorkshire to complete my PhD from there and to actually learn that with $1 which is available, how can you get the maximum value out of it? What is cost-benefit analysis? What is cost efficiency analysis? Cost-value analysis. With $1, if you want to buy a generic medicine versus a branded medicine, what will be the impact? What if you don't create brick-and-mortar structures and, in fact, reverse it through technology and make sure that people get the same value for their money, but within the comfort of their home, without having, I don't call them hospitals, I'll call them hotels. Because in private sector, hospital industry is like a hospitality industry. And in the public sector, we know how worse the situation is. So that's exactly what health economics is about, using the money, whatever you have, in an efficient way.
So like you said, the health economics and people having the hospital in the comfort of their homes. How is the patient influx and how many people do you think are benefiting from this revolutionized medical care, as I would call it?
I mean, if you ask me, and how do I see the company going forward, actually 90% of the customers or the patients who are coming to the hospitals right now, they are not supposed to be in the hospitals.
Okay.
I mean, anyone who is having flu, temperature, even diarrhea, even simple typhoid fever, they don't require to be at the hospital. Hospitals is basically meant for patients who need hospitalization, and that too for critical illnesses or surgeries. That's the reason when you see people abroad, they are now converting their bigger hospitals into smaller hubs, and the spokes are present in the community where they get treated. So this means 90% of the population can get benefit from the intervention which we have developed. That under one umbrella, we have created an aggregation of clinics, hospitals, doctors, specialists, labs, and medicines. And because the system is so well integrated that we, in 40 cities of Pakistan, just on a click of a button, are providing these services at the doorstep of the customer. So in 1.5 years, we have treated more than 1.5 million customers.
Lovely.
Unique customers with a huge potential to grow. But the only problem is in Pakistan that we have, if I look at the dollar which I have and the value it can create, we have enough money. But scaling up in Pakistan is an issue because the supply side is not ready for it.
Wonderful. And Fahim, we've also seen, because your own wife is a doctor, and we've seen that how much there is an influx of patients into the hospitals, and obviously that is a sorry state of the way we are living our lives.
You know,
Because
Hajra, a very interesting point that Dr. Saiba has raised here is people who go to the hospitals, they don't really need hospitalization
True.
for puny little ailments, because my father is also a doctor and I can relate to it very
Mashallah.
well, because we never got hospitalized for these things, right? So
Right.
you're very right. Now, I would also like to ask you, you also did some fundraising for your company as well. Now, obviously, we're short of time. We can't go through the whole thing, but very briefly, could you also tell us about that too?
I still remember it. It wasn't an easy task because, you know, if you have, we reached to a point where I initially spent my own money, about $500,000, and I was, after that, you know, I didn't have any more money to spend. So the program was scalable to the whole country level. So the next best option was to go to VCs, the venture capitalists who are interested in the health tech sector.
Right.
But again, coming from Pakistan and then seeing a lady on the other side with the already conceived or preconceived ideas of a woman in tech,
Right.
and that too alone, and she has, like, yeah, she has her team, she has her CTO and everyone, but still she's a lady. How can she run a business? It created a lot of trouble for me. So unlike for a male founder, usually the average is that they pitch to 52, 53 investors
Okay.
before they raise their money. For me, I pitched to 166 investors without any
Wow.
break in 3 months. And
Wow.
finally, out of those 166 investors, about 10 of them were ready to invest. And Alhamdulillah, once they invested, they are actually, we grew about 580 times in just 7 months.
That's
And now
amazing.
we are raising our next round. So it gave me a lot of confidence, and it gave me the investors a lot of confidence.
Right.
So when we are raising the second round, the previous investors are also coming in, and the new investors are now more than happy to invest.
And just one last thing that I would like to ask you, for all the viewers out there who are watching you, who just got to know about MedIQ, how can we access it, and what's the method of payment?
It's very easy. We work on in two ways. We work in a direct consumer B2C market, and then we work for B2B2C markets through insurance companies. So if you're a consumer who is not having health insurance, you can go straight and log in as a normal user without any subscription charges.
Right.
And you can have access to a lot of health content without payment. Only once you want to utilize the services, you choose a service, and the payment is very easy, because we know that in Pakistan, people are not formally banked.
True.
Right?
True.
So, and secondly, the doctor consultation and all this sort of stuff cannot be done on cash on delivery, because the doctor is not going to come to your home. So we have included all payment methods which are there. So you can pay through your wallet, Easy Paisa, Jazz Cash, HBL Connect.
Right.
So whatever is available, you can pay through your credit card. You can even, you know, have a bank transfer. So whatever possible method is available in Pakistan, irrespective of your socioeconomic class, you can pay for it.
Right, ma'am.
Wonderful.
Ma'am, it's wonderful having you here, and
a
wonderful
pleasure to be here.
know about this revolutionary initiative that you've taken. And I'm sure I'm going to use it when I get a chance, because obviously my wife is a doctor, my father's a doctor.
You're going to stay
If
home.
I
Yeah.
ever need it, I will definitely use it.
And what would be the repercussions at home, Faeem? Okay,
So
thank
we
you
shall
so
see
much.
to that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saiba, for coming to our show and for inspiring us with such a nice digitalized healthcare system that you have formed.
And
the first-
inspiring so many females, I'm sure.
True, and the first virtual hospital that you have formed here. Thank you so much for coming to our show.
It's a pleasure.
And we're going on a short break, and after coming back, we are again going to talk about the digitalization, how it's impacting Pakistan, and stuff more. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to World This Morning. Now, as we were talking about digitization, digital era, digital age, and we were talking to Dr. Saira, and it was wonderful talking to her. Now, coming to the second segment of the program, we have more guests. Because we know that Google Developers Group, their function is coming up, their seminar conference is coming up on the 27th of November. So we thought, why not get to know more about them? Because we know it's a local community for developers and all the developers who are interested in resources and technology from the Google developers. Now, we have with us in the studio Danial, Nasir and Ali Naqi. Welcome to World This Morning.
Thank you. Hi there.
Lovely.
Wonderful. So, Fahim, it is said about the internet, especially when the first version was launched, that a lot of the innovation was coming from the Google, which was based in the America, but then they have devolved their model, and a lot of local people are also contributing towards the innovation in the Google developers. So, Danial, I really wanted to ask you, you're organizing a Google Development Fest here, right? What is it about? Please let us know.
Okay, so Google Developer Groups is a community being recognized by Google.
Okay.
So that basically target the developers. It's a developer-centric community that organize events related to technology. We help developers accelerate in technology, and for that we also focus on Google related products. Apart from that, we also target different non-technical events as well. So we have different flagship events. Right now our main event called DevFest is coming on 18th of December. So in that event we will be having technical talks, non-technical talks, so people from different domains such as students, professionals and entrepreneurs can join the event, and then they can do some networking, they can have some fun, there will be some food as well, plus they can have some grip on personal branding workshops plus the technical ones as well.
Right. So moving on to Ali, we want to ask you that how is it a free event? I mean, who can come, who can't come, and what is the demographics that you are targeting who should come to this event?
So I just want to say that the event is free of cost, so it is open to everyone. So we target diverse audience. Our target audience is mostly females, because it is very difficult for females to in the IT industry, especially there are very less female professionals working in the IT industry. So our target audience is from diverse backgrounds. We target everyone, including the IT professionals, those who are from IT, other than IT background, those who are from the marketing, entrepreneurship, or other fields, they can also attend the event. We also have the sessions on the personal branding, as Danial mentioned earlier. So all these sessions, they hype up and they build the profile. So if you want to learn about the technologies that are by Google, or if you want to learn about other non-technical topics, you can just attend the event, and it will be and you will also have the opportunity to network with the like-minded people, those who are from the same background, from the IT or from the non-IT background.
So Danial, you said you focused on the term Android. Now, being a non-technical person, I know about Android and iOS. Now, could you let us know if you're covering the iOS technology as well?
So basically what we primarily focus on the Google related products. So all the Google related products, for example, technologies such as Flutter, Firebase and similar technologies, we particularly focus on that. But apart from that, we also have non-technical events as well. For example, the last event we had, apart from the technical thing, we had a meme workshop. Have you ever heard of that? I don't think so, because in Pakistan, meme workshops is not a thing. But one of our team member organized a workshop on making memes, that how people can be making memes and how can memes be made and how can those memes be productive. So apart from that technical thing, we also make sure that the event should be fun to attend for the non-technical people as well.
Wonderful.
And Ali, because we live in a world today where each and every one of us, if possible, is trying to market him or herself, right?
True.
Especially on YouTube, Facebook, and singers like on Spotify, on different channels, right? There are many of them. So are you going to be covering that too? Are you going to be teaching people how to do that too? Because say, what if I like to teach something and I want to do it on a digital platform? Would I be able to learn anything from there?
Yes, we are planning to cover. We have a session. Actually, we have a session with the influencers and from the industry who are working in personal branding and marketing industry. So we are covering both the perspectives from the influencer perspective as well. We have a guest who will be giving insights how the short form of content, you might have heard of TikToks. So it is one of the most people are using TikToks and they are creating mostly the young people. So it is the youth platform. So we are covering this short form of content, how you can create short form of videos and market those videos and build your personal profile. Along with that, we also have a guest who will be covering the industry perspective, like how can an organization use this short form of content to brand their businesses, because even the businesses are using TikToks and short form of videos like Facebook Reels, like all the YouTube, even the YouTube, Instagram and TikTok. So all these platforms have short form of content which are 5 seconds to 20 seconds. So we are covering this as well. So if you are coming from a digital background, if you want to build your profile online, if you are a social media influencer and you want to know how you can grow your audience with short form of content, you can definitely attend that session and get an insights how can you build that. You can have these that session and learn about
You particularly mentioned the young people and youth. So is it particularly for them or is it for all age?
So it is for all age. As I mentioned, this is for the businesses as well. So if you are an entrepreneur and if you are a executive of a company and you want to make decisions, so mostly decisions are made based on the insights in the companies. So you want to get an insights, you can build, you can learn how you can market your business on the social media using Reels or TikToks and get the insights from the audience. You can market and target, you can have the target audience and get the insights, and based on those insights, you can just make the decisions of your business.
Because I think as far as businesses are concerned, I don't think we can really expand our business without digital marketing these days.
Exactly.
That's very true. And for him, talking about a very interesting concept that I came across is the data's sovereignty or digital sovereignty.
Right.
So digital sovereignty is that a lot of sovereign nations, they're concerned about how their data is migrating from their location towards the cloud computing, and they need some sort of sovereign guarantees from the cloud providers. So we know that Google is a US based industry or the commerce or whatever you call it. So is it difficult for the Google, which is based in the America, to comply with the local legislation, local laws? What does the Google developer groups have to say about that?
So as you mentioned that there are certain laws in the countries. Google, right now Google does not have presence in Pakistan.
Right.
On the behalf of Google, we do all the communication here in Pakistan. We have around 6 chapters in all the cities. Whatever they decide regarding the cloud or regarding all the initiatives, technical initiatives, we communicate to those initiatives and those announcements to the local developer community in Pakistan. Regarding the cloud, it is not really difficult, but to start or to build, establish a data center locally, it is really difficult to get the permissions from the local IT industry. And it is also very costly to establish a data center or to build a presence, a cloud presence. So Google Cloud is, if you are talking about Google Cloud, so it is expanding currently, and they are planning, they have recently announced few new regions. So in cloud there are certain regions, so it is all over the world, but they are expanding. So it is the third fastest growing cloud provider in the world. So in future, we can expect that Google will have a data center in Pakistan, and they will have their operations, and they will have their offices in Pakistan. If we like the work we are doing in Google Developers Group, and we are already recognized by Google, so hopefully they will start their offices.
So Daniel, we really don't know how the data is going to operate in a very fuzzy world, because the metadata or the big data is a new thing, and it's the new normal that is going to be there and operate in a very digitalized world. So what do you expect from this festival, and what are your expectations of that?
Okay, so I just wanted to add one thing from Naki point regarding the technical perspective. Naki is the guy you can ask, but I was about to add one more thing that I wanted to say is that from the student perspective, this event is a big thing. All the events we do from the GD perspective. So what we generally do is we have events for every age and every group of people. So what people can do from this event is particularly students is that they can join the event and from that they can get to know the like-minded people and from the industry. For example, if some of the students is starting his career, he doesn't know the path where he should be going and he needs some guidance from that. So what he can do is he can network with the like-minded people and he can get to know those people. And those connections really help a lot. For example, if I talk about my personal experience, I run a company, Portsea Games. So before joining the community, I was nothing. I didn't have any sort of skills. While being a part of this community, I've learned a lot of things being a volunteer. So I'd like all of the guys listening there, if you want to be the part of the community, if you want to join it as a volunteer, so you guys can be doing that, because from my personal experience, I have learned a lot of skills from joining this community, along with networking, along with making the right connections, along with the leadership skills.
What are some of the skills that you have learned?
Yeah, I can mention all of those ones. I've learned the management skills because, for example, if you are organizing any event, the most important thing in a community is the management. So I'm the operational lead here at GDG Islamabad. So what we do is we organize the stuff because if you are organizing any event, all the stuff before the event has to be sorted out. So I manage all the operations in there, plus I have got a team of volunteers that I manage. So apart from that, I also I'm in a leadership role, so I manage those stuff as well. Along with that, what I learned was making the connection. My communication skills are pretty good now as compared to if I compared from before, because before I didn't know how to communicate to people. So these are the few things I've learned so far.
Well, here you are talking to the whole world via television. Now, also we'd like to know the agenda. If I'm not wrong, the date is 27th of November.
So, due to the current political situation, we are planning to change the date. So it will be 18th because previously it was 27th of November. But we want that everyone should be able to attend the event, and because there should not be a travel restriction here in the Twin Cities. So since it is a physical event, we have changed the date to 18th of December. So it is Sunday. If you are, so we make sure that everyone is able to attend. Those who are professionals, those who are students, they don't have to skip their work. So it is a weekend, and they can come and enjoy the event on the weekend and have some networking lunch and enjoy the sessions.
Also, would you be going live on the digital platforms, because there would be perhaps people who are out of the country or out of the city or perhaps in their villages who would like to know what's going on there?
Yes, we do have the small insights of the talks. We have the technical talks. We do record some of the sessions, but some of the sessions are not recorded due to the reasons Google, because it is a physical event, and when we talk about there are other platforms where Google do the live events. So there is a whole playlist and there is a whole YouTube channel of Google developers where you can watch the live videos. But for this event, our mostly focus is on the physical talks, and you have to be present there to attend those talks.
Lovely. And also, if people want to follow exactly what your future events are going to be and where they're going to be, where should they go and how should they follow you?
So I will tell you, we are present on all the social media platforms, including Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, and on the YouTube. So you can people can follow Google Developers Group Islamabad, or the short form is GDG Islamabad. They can just write GDG Islamabad or Google Developers Group Islamabad. So it is a community group. It is free to join. You can join and see our future events. Yearly we do 3 events. First is Women Tech Makers. That is in the March. We do that for the women in tech
to encourage them.
Yes, to encourage them in the IT. And then we have Google I/O Extended. That is the replication of Google I/O is the official conference of Google. We replicate that here in Pakistan. Then the DevFest is our flagship event, and it is one of the biggest events at the end of year. We do it every year for past like 10 years. We have been doing DevFest.
Also, Ali, has the concept and overall mindset of the people changed as far as women in the tech industry is concerned? Because usually what used to happen, Hajra, like we were talking to Dr. Saiba as well,
Yes.
A woman in the tech industry, a woman running a business in the tech world, that's quite unheard of, and that's something that's not possible in the old mindset. But has the mindset changed now?
Yes, it has changed a lot. Even if you see in the IT organizations, from the IT, I know the IT organizations perspective. So they are hiring more women in tech. We have seen, like when we started like 3 to 4 years back, when we started this initiative here in Pakistan, Women Tech Makers Conference. So there were very few people who knew about women in tech. What is women in tech? It was a new term, relatively new term. But now, if we see now, most people know about women in tech and what is women tech makers, and what are the initiatives. Even other organizations, local organizations in Pakistan, the companies in Pakistan are organizing women in tech events. So they also include the segment. When we started it, there was no concept of women in tech. But now we have seen huge growth, and people are organizing. They are empowering women. The gender pay gap is low as compared to past.
Like it used to be in the
It
past,
used to be.
yes.
So it is happening, and I believe more and more organizations will empower their women, and they will pay them equally, and we will see these initiatives in the future.
Hopefully.
I think digitalization is a great equalizer, at the same time great divider. But with that, we will wrap our segment. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming to our show. And with that, we will end up our show and say goodbye. Allah Hafiz. Until next time.